Kṛṣṇa Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, good morning from Canada, back from Mexico for a 2-week visit to that country. It was very interesting to see Krishna consciousness, how it's been spreading in that particular area of the world. And how different people are taking it up. So many different points of view, let's put it that way, that have been introduced through various people coming from India, especially, from the Gaudiya Math. Quite a spreading of Krishna consciousness there amongst the very sincere Mexican people who are looking. Of course, sincerity is there amongst the human beings. People have a natural inclination to want to know what the purpose of life is. They want to understand who God is. And people prey on that. As we know in the Christian church, what is the biggest business in the world? The biggest business is religion. And the Vatican and the Christian religion is one of the, specifically the Catholic Church, is one of the richest organizations in the world. And all they do is talk. They talk about the Bible. They talk about salvation. They show a cross with the image of Jesus nailed to it, died for their sins. People are attracted to it. It's a natural thing. The propensity of the living entity is to want to live eternally, looking for answers to the truth. And we're very fortunate because out of all the billions of living entities, it was remarkable in my journey to see how many living entities are scattered everywhere on every platform, in every country, just even in the airports. Was traveling in the airports, there were hundreds of thousands of people flying, and they only make up a small percentage of the living entities that are residing on this planet. Actually, the human being is a rare species compared to all of the other species of life. And even rarer is people that are sincere about spiritual life, and even rarer than that are people that are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, very rare. Such a great soul is very rare. So we should feel very honored, all of us, to be members of the Prabhupada Disciples Association. That name has specifically been designed to identify who we are. We're not members of some cult. We're not members of some business. We're not members of some tangent in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, which exists throughout the world nowadays due to the introduction of what we call the guru business. So unfortunate. And so many people are bewildered. It's almost rare, very rare to meet a person that's sincere. And, you know, we're very blessed with our group to have all of you worldwide part of this mission to protect Prabhupada's legacy in his Vani incarnation. This is not a small thing, and a big responsibility on everyone's shoulders to work diligently together, cooperatively to achieve this. And getting back to Mexico was interesting. I met this devotee, Kṛṣṇa Kishore. And I met him at the end of my trip. He met me at the bus terminal and drove me to the airport. So we had a chance to associate with him, one brahmachari that he had with him, and also his good wife. So it was really inspiring to see how determined he was to spread Krishna consciousness in that country and independently operating away from the institutional platform that Prabhupada created that's been hijacked, let's say. And before we get on to the readings of Prabhupada's diaries, I wanted to show you some of the magazines that he gave me. So here he is, On the Way to Krishna. He printed this on his own. You see, like that? Really nice. And they go out, a small group of them, they distribute these books. And they support themselves through this book distribution. This is, of course, what Prabhupada wanted, was people to take up this process independently and show dynamic leadership, independent. That was the mission when we were first joined Yashodanandana. He wanted independent temple presidents who would take on the responsibility of spreading Krishna consciousness according to his directions, print books and distribute them. So they've done these unedited versions in Spanish. There's one there. Here's one, On the Way to Krishna. Look at this. On the Way to Krishna. So, and you know, it's not connected. In other words, if you want to get a hold of him, see that? He's got his own independent connections to the people. So people that get this book, they can get in touch with him. They can come to their online classes in Spanish, and they can come to his temple. Now they have people that are donating land for him to build a center near Yotapek, where we were. And all kinds of people. They have Namhata programs that they've started. They have 4 Namhata programs in Mexico City. Mexico City is a very large city, 23 million people. Wow. And the people are very respectful of devotees and very interested. Here's his cards, and look at this. See this? This is the contact they do. You can scan this image and you connect with them electronically, and this way they're spreading. And then he's got his magazines, Yashodanandana Prabhu. Look at this. Now, they didn't want to use the Back to Godhead magazine because of copyright infringements. So this is called Back to Krishna. Okay, good. Good idea. Very beautiful. Back to Krishna. And we've invited Kṛṣṇa Kishore to be in touch with us, and we'll provide articles for the magazine. Yashodanandana Prabhu, our senior editor, has got all kinds of articles, and they'll put them in the magazine as well. So here's one issue. Look at this, another issue. This is all being done by him. A very humble devotee and very sincere and independent, like that. Look at these magazines. All these magazines. He's got more, but I want you all to be enlivened by to see this work. And he's also got some people to get initiated. So we talked about initiation. I asked him a very simple question, no different than the way Prabhupada designed the movement and how people should be initiated back when he was still living with us. I asked him very simply, do these people follow the 4 regulated principles? Oh, yes, they do. And do they study the books? Yes, they do. And are they truly sincere devotees that want to become Prabhupada disciples? Oh, yes, they do. And do you recommend them for initiation? Yes, I do. I said, then we'll present it to our group of Brahminical leaders in our group, spiritual leaders, and submit the names, and we'll go ahead. This is how the system was. That Prabhupada would simply accept devotees on the basis of the recommendation of a temple president. Because the temple president was in the local area, he could examine the character and activities of the individual members that he was working with. And in this way, the numbers in Krishna consciousness could expand, and this movement will carry on without interference, away from the current ISKCON GBC elected guru system where there is no temple president involvement. This is all pure mental concoction. And this is something we're not involved in, mental concoction. So we'll go now back to Prabhupada's diaries, April 23rd, 1966. We'll start there, Vinkat Bhatta Prabhu, if you have that slide. You'll notice, everyone, that these are very short entries. Now, the reason is this. Prabhupada's gone through a transition. He was in that office room with no washroom, no kitchen facilities. He moves over to the Bowery with this Paul Murray character, and he's trying to see what's going on there. So he's trying to get reset up. So he's in transition now. Remember, it's not really going to take off till July of 66 when he gets the Matchless Gifts storefront. But nonetheless, he's moving along. So you're going to see abbreviated inserts. We'll read them quickly through. Just see how he's pacing himself, watching, waiting to see it unfold like we are at the Prabhupada Hare Krishna Society Association. We're waiting for more people to come along. Let this unfold. Sunrise on April 23rd, 5:04 a.m. Sunset 6:55 p.m. Moonset 10:20. Chaturi. Paul paid $2. And bus fare was 15 cents. So the expenditure, is $2.15. So he gave $2 to Paul. Today I went to Ananda Ashram at noon. Dr. Mishra paid all my expenses for going. On Sunday, the 24th, sunrise 5:02 a.m., 5:56 p.m., moon sets 11:31, Panchami. Today I remained the whole day at the Ananda Ashram, came back in the evening. Paul was not in the apartment, in the Bowery. Expenditure, bus fare, 15 cents. Received 2 letters at 72nd Street, one from Vrindavan, the other from the Secretary President. Talked with Sulan Richter. She was on Lincoln Road in Brooklyn, New York. On the 25th, sunrise was 5 a.m. Prabhupada reports sunset was 6:57. Sasti, I went to see Mr. Bogart. He was not in the office, but his assistant was given a note to contact Peaker. Saw the Marine office, free pass for Paul, denied. Came back and settled to postpone return back to India. One letter received from Tirtha Maharaj. So Prabhupada's considering how he's going to get back to India. One letter received from Tirtha Maharaj, bypassing his responsibility as promised by him. So rejection again by the Gaudiya Math. please note these things. Don't, there's so much discussion about it, but the fact of the matter is, this was their response. Vrindavan and Robert's letters replied, that was his son, and somebody else replied. Tirthamaraj's letter also replied, he should honestly execute his promise. I had no objection if he corresponded directly with Sri Padman Pat. Expenditure, bus fare 30 cents. Evening meeting held, contribution income $460. Okay, so he's up 1 hour lock, 1 hour lock in 1 hour clock enhanced. So it's daylight savings time. That's what we're on, 2 hours. I'm 2 hours difference from Mexico. Sunrise on April 26th was 5:08 m. Sunset was 6:49, moonset. Saptami. Today I did not go out. Stayed in. Must have been cold. Paul paid for expenditure. No income today, $5, and no income to income of book, $5. On April 27th, 1966. So go back in time, amazing. Very fortunate to read these things. Sunrise, 5:06 a.m. Sunset, 6:50. Moonset, 1:07 a.m. Astami. Today, whole day did not go out. One letter sent to Srimati Sumati Morarji requesting to allow free passage for Paul. So he's trying to go back to India. Evenings, there was a meeting, 6 ladies and gentlemen attended, and the income was $5, and that's recorded probably. I'll check it out online, and you can too. And hear Prabhupada speaking back there, how he was preaching to new people to bring them to Krishna consciousness. Emulate, repeat what he says, act like he does. On Thursday, April 28th, sunrise was 5:05, sunset was 6:51, moonset was 1:52, Navami. Expenses, Paul paid $1. Today I brought all things from 72nd Street to Paul's Loft. So we moved out, finally got out of there. And we'll finish off this month, Friday, April 29th, sunrise 5:03, sunset 6:52, moonset 6:50, sunset 6:52, moonset 6:52. Dasami. Today I met Picture Secretary for informing the vacation, leaving his room. She promised a check on Tuesday afternoon, deposited with the bank $17. Talked with Banerjee, he has not yet sent the report. Talked with Bogart, no news. And there was 5 gentlemen attended, so he had another talk. $14 contribution, not bad, he's moving along. See, just watch the pace, everyone. Watch the pace here. Remember, it's going to change. Krishna is going to get involved. Sunday, 30th of April, sunrise 5:02, sunset 6:53, moonset 3:02. Ekadasi today, both Paul and self-observed Ekadasi. In the afternoon, both we went to Ananda Ashram. Expenditure was $5. We passed the night at the Ananda Ashram that was owned by Mishra. Very austere, dealing with these Mayavadi people. Prabhupada was tolerating it and pushing forward, and he will win. Remember that. Determination, conviction, commitment to the spiritual master, and the order of the spiritual master to spread Krishna consciousness for all of us is the secret of our success, and we will win. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We'll move forward with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava. And then we'll have the class from the mountains of California, Twinehart, with Yashodanandana Prabhu, my wonderful friend and freezing member of the Hare Krishna Society and the Prabhupada Disciples Association. Hari Bol.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jashodanandana Bradajana Ranjana.
Screen is frozen. No sound.
Bradajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Bradajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Bradajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Muspa Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Sattvaresvara Samadhati Dhanta Saraswati Goswami Bhagavad ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki Jai. Ramacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivācharya Gaur Bhaktamani ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Mokh Gopinath Sam Khand Radha Khand Giridharan ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Navadvip Dham ki Jai. Ganga Mai ki Jai, Jamuna Mai ki Jai, Guru Dwarka Dham ki Jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. All glories to their Summit. All glories to their Summit. Thank you very much.
All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Glories to you, Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you from Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya Narayanam namaskritya Naram cheva narottamam Naram cheva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Tato Jayam Mudirayat
one should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad-gītā, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavad-gītā. We greatly appreciate everyone's participation. Here last night, we had a few demigods showering some nice snow all around, couple inches of snow. Very interesting. As we do every week, we will be reading a few Sanskrit verses from the introduction of the Bhagavad-gītā as given and presented by Srila Prabhupada himself in 1966 in New York. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar, Srivas, and all other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Sri Lalita and Vishaka. E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostuti. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Saptakanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. As we do every week, we will read a few verses this week from the Gita Dhyanam, or the meditation on the Bhagavad-gītā. This is from the Vaishnaviya Tantra Sar. Srila Prabhupada oftentimes would quote from this. Text number 3 and 4. Saravo prapanna parijataya sutravitreka panaye jnanamudraya krishnaya gitamrita duhe namaha. Salutations to Lord Krishna, the Parijata, or the Kalpataru, or the bestower of all desires for those who take refuge in him, the holder of the whip in one hand, the holder of the symbol of divine knowledge, and the milker of the divine nectar of the Bhagavad-gītā. Text number 4. Saravo Panishadu Gavu Dugdagopala Nandana Parto Vatsa Sudhira Bhokta Dugdam Gitam Ritam Mahat. All the Upanishads are like the cows. The milker is Krishna. The coward boy Partha, Arjuna, is the calf. And men of purified intellect are the drinkers. And the milk is the grape nectar of the Bhagavad-gītā. So we will proceed. This week we will be reading from chapter 10. Let me see what we have. Text number, I don't see the number. Text number 38. Fascinating. All synonyms, translations, and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. This reading is conducted on the basis of the non-edited, non-adulterated original 1972 Macmillan Bhagavad-gītā edition, text number 38. I will repeat 1-9, and you may repeat at home. Dandu damayetam asmi, dandu damayetam asmi, nitirasmi jigishatam, nitirasmi jigishatam, maunam chevasmi guhyanam, maunam chevasmi guhyanam, jnanam jnanabatam maham, jnanam jnanabatam maham, dandaha, punishment, damayatam, of all separation, asmi, I am, nitihi, morality, asmi, I am, jigishatam, of a victorious, maunam, silence, cha, and, eva, also, asmi, I am, guhyanam, of secrets, jnanam, knowledge, jnanabatam, of the wise, aham, I am, Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Among punishments, I am the rod of chastisement, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am wisdom. Purport. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down the miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the rod of chastisement represents Kṛṣṇa. Amongst those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important, because by silence, one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Kṛṣṇa himself. Text number 39. Yaschapi sarva bhutanam bijam tadamarjuna natadasti vinayatsyan maya bhutam characharam yat, whatever, cha, also, api, maybe, sarva bhutanam, of all creations, bijam, the seed, tat, that, aham, I am, Arjuna, O Arjuna, na, not, thought, that, asti, there is, vina, without, yat, that, syat, exist, maya, by me, bhutam, created, characharam, moving and unmoving. Translation. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. Purport. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Kṛṣṇa. Without Kṛṣṇa's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the unmovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Kṛṣṇa is called Maya, that which is not. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha. Bhagavad-vandanam khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatihi Visheshataha. Adadana strinam danter idam yachi punah punah Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dhulishyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatosmyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tatkripa Pikshako Nityam Tatprishta Shadkaromishvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first verse of the first canto, how Vedavyas, the compiler of all Vedic literatures, is explaining the nature, the essential nature of the absolute truth, or Godhead. Janmadyasa yataha, that means he is that person from whom everything is emanating. This is also described in the Vedanta Sutra, and it is very clearly described and explained by Krishna himself in the Bhagavad-gītā. When we see the chapter 10 of Bhagavad-gītā, there are some very important verses in the beginning, specifically 10.8. 10.8 describes where does everything come from. Krishna explains, Aham sarvasya prabhavu matta sarvam pravartati iti matva bhajante mam Buddha Bhava Samanvita. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. We also find in the Bhagavad-gītā, because somebody may ask, well, that's nice. This is the creation of the material world. Krishna created. God created everything. What about all the living beings, the living entities? Krishna says further on in the Bhagavad-gītā, Aham bija pradapita. I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. This is the basic fundamental principle. Krishna created this world, and all living entities are here according to their karma, according to their activities. In this life, people obtain a body in a personal situation, in a specific family, in a specific country, in a specific environment, according to their purva karma. Everybody has heard of karma. Purva means previous. According to one's previous activities, this is what determines this current situation. And according to the current karma, in Sanskrit it's called adunika, the current activities, that will determine the future birth, the future activities in the next life. So this is a very important point, because we see certain religious sects or spiritual groups have certain philosophies thinking that such and such great saints, that son of God or such and such prophet died for your sins. Okay, that's it. That's very nice. Then why are people sinning again and again? This is not like some kind of a contract that someone like Jesus Christ will take on the sins of the followers, and the followers keep sinning again. Specifically with regards to the killing and slaughtering of animals. It's interesting to note from a historical perspective how Jesus Christ never sponsored slaughterhouses. Christ was very powerful. He is the Son of God. He was an emissary from the spiritual world, according to the Vaishnava philosophy and theology. He's the Son of God. We consider him a Shakti Avesha Avatara, or a specially empowered living entity to deliver the message of Godhead, to deliver the message from the spiritual world. The problem we have is the followers do not follow. And the first of the problem is the current version in the English language, is many versions, plural, in the English language. Where did this come from? That message was originally spoken Aramaic and Greek, the original language from which the Bible was compiled. The current versions, there's no current available version that shows each text in the original Aramaic language, each word-for-word meaning, and how they have arrived at the English translation. And someone may say, well, why are you so concerned about that? Well, we're concerned because, for example, in the King James Version, in the Greek language, the word broma, B-R-O-M-A, means nourishment or food. By the time it got to the King James Bible, it got translated as meat. No. Nourishment does not necessarily mean meat. And I realize this is part of their tradition, this killing of animals and eating of flesh, but this is not the Vaishnava teachings. This is not even Christ's teachings. In the Bible, it says, thou shalt not kill. Why are they so busy killing animals? Why are they supporting and condoning animal killing? Why are they supporting these ghastly, terrible slaughterhouses and inflicting countless sufferings upon the animals? Because the philosophy has been twisted from change of the original teaching. This is very important. We have the same problem in this movement. Some motivated individuals, some misled individuals with a poor fund of knowledge have taken it upon themselves to change the original writings of the Acharya of this movement, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. They will claim, oh, Prabhupada authorized us to edit the books because his books were taken from Sanskrit and Bengali language, translated into English, and the English Prabhupada requested some of his followers to edit it in a suitable manner for the English audience. But Prabhupada did not want perpetual editing. We don't need a perpetual English embellishment project. No, that was not the desire of the Acharya Srila Prabhupada. This is very important because we see so many different interpretations of the teachings infiltrate in a very insidious way, where very important passages, very important fundamental teachings are distorted to suit the personal ambition of various political ambitious men. Just like we had experience when I was very young, some of us went to a seminary to become priests. And when I asked one of the head priests whether or not they had this original Bible in Aramaic or Greek with each word translated, each specific word translated into English or French with a proper translation, they said, well, we don't have that. We just accept what's been given in the past. I said, how do you know it's accurate? No answer. For example, in the Bible, Genesis 1:29, there's a clear description that the herbs, the fruits, this should be your natural food. There's another place in the Bible that says, he that slains an ox is as though he slains a man. And I know there's a lot of different interpretations according to different sects and different denominations and groups trying to argue back and forth. But the point is, Christ himself did not support slaughterhouses. He came from a group of a community in Israel, the Essenes. They were vegetarians. This is the natural, peaceful way of living. the proper way of living. So in this movement, we have a major problem with motivated individuals with political ambitions, twisting, changing, misinterpreting everything to suit their personal ambitions. We will leave it up to our Christian friends to study their own Shastra or their own scriptures and come up with a proper rendition from the original language, word for word, with accurate translation. I'm sure some scholars have worked on that. But in this movement, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, we follow the teachings of the most recent, the current link, the current Acharya of the Krishna consciousness movement is Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Now, I can hear the objections. People will say, well, you can't say he's current because he departed in 1977. He's current in the sense that he is the supreme authority of the teachings of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. He's the one that fulfilled the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is very important to recognize. Just like I was having a very good conversation with my friend Vishwakarma Prabhu, describing the situation in Mexico, how there are so many very inquisitive persons, intelligent persons inquiring about spiritual life, very pious persons who have come some way or other in contact with the Krishna consciousness movement, but became somewhat alienated or concerned, to put a very neutral word, concerned about the behavior and the history of many of the leaders or pseudo-leaders. So many of them have drifted to various motts, various advisors, trying to take shelter here and there. But one thing that should be noted, and this is one thing that we do recognize our Christian friends, you can take shelter of the Acharya, the main spiritual teacher in the Christian religion, that is Jesus Christ. In Islam, that is Prophet Muhammad. And in this movement, it is His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. For those who may not know, he was predicted 500 years ago by many Acharyas that a great personality would appear and bring the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu throughout the world. It was also predicted recently as 200 years ago by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, one of the powerful gurus and acharyas, spiritual teachers in our sampradaya, in our disciplic succession, that a personality will come and bring the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu throughout the world, and people from America, Russia, France, England, everywhere around the world will come to the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and chant Jai Satchinandana. Now, this is a very important point, because we are fortunate we have the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, and the original, unedited, non-adulterated, non-changed, unchanged books are still available. This is available. An intelligent person should first obtain, some way or other, obtain an original copy of the Bhagavad-gītā, get the 30-volume original non-adulterated Srimad Bhagavatam from KrishnaStore.com or Vedaguya Prabhu, and study this every single day. Make it a point. Just like every day you're going to eat. You're going to drink water. You're going to have a certain amount of sleep. So make it your regular diet every day that you read some from the Bhagavad-gītā and some from Srimad Bhagavatam, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes. I don't buy this argument. People say, oh, I have no time, I'm so busy. Oh, really? But yet we see people have plenty of time to watch TV, watch sports, read nonsense newspapers, go on the internet all day, go on YouTube, do this, do that. Just dedicate a few minutes of your time to hear this transcendental knowledge that is given, and it will change your life. It will change your life forever. You will greatly benefit. Why? Because this is the original, unchanged, unspoiled teachings. We've often given the example, of course, in America and Canada, we don't have that. People will sell goat milk and different kinds of milk or almond milk, that's fine. But in India, they will sell you buffalo milk. You can buy goat milk, buffalo milk. In places of Rajasthan, you can get camel milk. But real milk means cow milk, pure cow milk. That is the greatest benefit. Buffalo milk is not very good for your health, not good for your brain, but cow milk is. Get the original. You cannot argue, well, milk is milk. Well, it's liquid, okay. It's in liquid form, it's white, but it doesn't have the same effect. Camel milk and buffalo milk is not the same as pure cow milk. It has a different effect. So similarly, these literatures like Bhagavad-gītā, the original, unchanged, unedited, be aware of self-motivated persons who have changed the book for personal ambition. They have changed one of the most important texts of Bhagavad-gītā from he has seen the truth to they have seen the truth. Who is they? Who are these audacious, nonsensical people that they can change the translation of the Acharya to suit their personal political ambitions? And there are many such important changes they have made because of political ambition to maintain, just like caste Brahmins in India, to maintain a so-called pseudo-monopoly of spiritual advancement. Of course, that system of monopoly on spiritual advancement is breaking down more and more as we see these persons deviating left and right on so many levels. But the important point is, do not change the essence. Don't go buy camel milk when you have cow milk available. Why? This is not a very difficult point to understand. At one point, I was working in a legal department of a major company. And they were advising at one point that if you get a very expensive vehicle like a Mercedes, a Volvo, an Audi, these kind of vehicles, do not put certain types of gasoline in the car. This will invalidate your warranty. You should put the highest grade of gasoline in the vehicle. Why? Because it will function better. Now, I've heard the argument from different people, oh no, we just did some editing to correct the mistakes and correct the spelling and correct the capitalization. But then we find thousands of changes that were not mandated or authorized by Srila Prabhupada. There are websites on the internet where people can check for themselves. But the point is, do not spoil the original teachings of Srila Prabhupada with these nonsense, whimsical changes. It's interesting to note that in India, the culture comes from the Vedas. And according to the teachings of the Vedas are not man-made. They're called aparushaya. Aparushaya means that basically they are manifested in the beginning of the creation from Lord Narayana himself. It is described in the Vedas. When the creation comes, the Vedas also come naturally. But these Vedas cannot be changed. A person cannot edit the Vedas. Although in the Sanskrit language, you can adjust certain Sanskrit phrases, certain Sanskrit statements with various grammatical combinations. But it is not authorized to change anything in the Vedas. That is not how it's done. That's how the teachings are maintained. Similarly, the Sampradaya teachings, or the teachings of a disciplic succession, are maintained by fidelity to the original acharyas. In our Sampradaya, the Gaudiya Sampradaya, the original teacher is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it deputed other persons, other disciples, such as the 6 Goswamis and other associates, to write books on the science of Krishna. The science of bhakti, or loving devotional service to Krishna, called bhakti yoga. But the one thing that we do not find is anybody trying to change the teachings of Jiva Goswami, the writings of Gopal Bhatta Goswami or Sanatana Goswami. People do not do that. They will not even attempt to do that. But it is considered a great insult, a great sacrilege and blasphemy to change the teachings of an acharya. But now we have some people come from Lecha and Yavana background who think that they become so educated, so impudent, and so haughty that they can take properties and start to change on their own whimsical way. This will not be allowed. Any devotee who has even the slightest bit of intelligence, at the first point, do not allow this. Protest it, change it. Do not listen to these people. Do not go to their websites. Do not go to their lectures. Do not listen to their nonsense explanation. Just like if a milkman tries to sell you buffalo milk, and if you know the difference of taste between cow milk and buffalo milk, you'll be able to detect. There's a website called KRishnaStore.com, KRishnaStore.com, COM, where you can get original literature. Then you take them, read them every day, try to get some for distribution as well. And then it will be very easy to understand Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, it can get very confusing for those who are a little inexperienced. Do not be misled by self-motivated people. We have seen what they have done to the mission and the institution of the Acharya. We have seen what they have done to the original school system or Gurukul system of the Acharya. We have seen what they have done to the original books and teachings of the Acharya. The example is there. Now, somebody may argue, well, why did Krishna allow that? Why did Lord Chaitanya allow that? Well, that's not difficult to understand. Sometimes Krishna may permit something. One of the names given in the Upanishads is called Anumanta. Krishna is the permitter. You may have so many desires. Krishna will not interfere with your desires. He may permit. That doesn't mean that he approves of your whimsical way. You have to develop the refined intelligence to find out how to follow the Acharya. Now, we have the example how not to follow the Acharya, how not to behave, how not to conduct one's spiritual activities. There's plenty of examples of that, and we will not go into that over here. There's websites dedicated to this. There's blogs going on with this all the time. If anybody wants all the sordid details, they can find this out on the internet. It's not difficult to find. Anybody with a little bit of intelligence can go like the swan. The swan has a unique ability to take milk out of the water. A very special skill. So we have to develop that skill, move away from the nonsense and get into the nectar. And this is why we read every single line in Prabhupada's books at such deep meaning. Such deep meaning. Because several times people have asked, well, why do you spend so much time reading every word in here? Well, why? Is because, first of all, that's what Prabhupada is given. And the second reason is Prabhupada wanted his disciples to study that way. In 1977, I had the opportunity and privilege of spending a few weeks at night with Srila Prabhupada, attending to him for a few hours. And he was explaining me several times how to study his books, how to teach in the Gurukul, and how to teach devotees. And one of the things he said, well, you can read the Sanskrit and everybody can repeat, and you read the word for word, read the purport, and then you start analyzing. Each major point in the purport should be listed, because in the Gurukul we were making notes. Each major point should be listed. Each example or analogy should be segregated and listed. Each Sanskrit or Bengali quotation should be listed. Various questions can be raised. So this is a very important system that was given by Srila Prabhupada. And it's up to us to study and go deep into the teachings. And somebody may say, I've got very little time. Well, you have 2 ears. You can use your cell phone. Everybody seems to have one of these devices these days. The other day I was in Sonora trying to make a corner, and somebody is crossing the street on his cell phone going extremely slow, and different cars all over the place were beeping the horn, but the person is blissfully unaware of everything around them. They're on their cell phone. We can use that device to spiritualize our existence. That's yoga. Yoga means connection, to link the individual soul with the super soul. That is yoga. So anybody can hear Prabhupada's messages, Prabhupada's lectures, Prabhupada chanting japa, Prabhupada's kirtan, and this way stay connected with his divine grace. It's not very complicated. It's not very difficult. It only becomes complicated if somebody becomes misled by self-motivated people, only interested in name, fame, power, prestige, and all the nonsense diversions. Thank you very much. To whom it may concern. Hare Krishna.
Haribo. It concerns everyone. And thank you very much. I wanted to refer Yashodanandana Prabhu to a recent lecture that I heard Srila Prabhupada give. And he was talking about miracles. He said that wherever he goes throughout the world, people are telling him, you've created miracles. And Prabhupada responded, he said, I know nothing about miracles. But one thing that I have done is I've presented the truth, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and my spiritual master without any change. That is the miracle, that the philosophy is intact by his strict dedication to his spiritual master. This is called Guru Tattva. And Prabhupada further explained that if you change something, where is its authority then? How can you say that it's truth if you change it? There is no authority for that, especially when you have new people who got involved with our mission take up the role of editing Prabhupada's books and changing them because they thought that Prabhupada, Sean, wasn't intelligent, that he didn't know how to speak English. Can you imagine? Because they can't understand how one should study these books carefully, like Yashodanandana Prabhu was explaining in his lecture today, and how we are conducting our classes in the same way, to carefully monitor the philosophy of Srila Prabhupada and understand it without change. Because this change disease, it seems to be something that goes on in this world. People change everything from this to that. But in our Krishna consciousness movement, Guru Tattva, Neil Sharma, Guru Tattva is the principle, understanding how to protect the disciplic succession. And I wanted to quickly go forward back into the purport for a minute, Yashoda, and discuss this point of silence. Because in the opulence of the absolute, this verse 38, among punishment, I am the rod of chastisement. So Krishna will punish the offenders. And of those who are of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. And of the wise, I am wisdom. Purport: there are many suppressing agents, of which the most are those that cut down the miscreants. So this is part of our work. And that's why Kṛṣṇa has created this situation, Yashoda, so that we, Nilesh Sharma and Aprakrita and Vijay Pandit, we all have the opportunity now to present this philosophy correctly and cut down these miscreants that are deviant. Yashoda brought it out so clearly. It's not that we're passive. We sit back and watch it all go on. Oh, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be condemned. I don't want to be targeted by others, because that's what happens. Fearfulness. This is not our business. Our business is to protect the legacy from these miscreants that are spreading untruths of our philosophy to others and taking advantage of them. When miscreants are punished, the rod of chastisement represents Kṛṣṇa, and Prabhupada would chastise people. Do not think that Prabhupada let things just pass by. We won't discuss it. There's lots to talk about today. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. And here, among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important, because by silence, one can make progress very quickly. Silence. Now let's understand, Nilesh, what we mean by silence. Most vividly, it's brought about by Raghunath Das Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Lord Chaitanya, directed him to practice renunciation. So does renunciation mean you give up everything and do nothing? He was a wealthy man. He took his money and he engaged in propagating Kṛṣṇa consciousness. And he took his activities of speech and dovetailed them to chanting the holy names and speaking about Kṛṣṇa. So silence means do not, Nilesh, speak nonsense. That is a frivolous activity of an individual. And speak only of what is important. This is silence. Let's go to, we'll go quickly because we're moving along with this wonderful class. Text 1 of Nectar of Instruction. Vacho vegam, manaso krota vegam, jiva vegam, udarapasta vegam, etan vegan yo visaheta dira, sarvam apimam pritivim sasishyat. Translation. A sober person can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So we're going to go specifically to the urge to speak. And we'll go to page 4 in the purport, and we'll read the control of speech, just to give us an understanding. First, one must control his speaking power. Every one of us has the power of speech. As soon as we get an opportunity, we begin to speak. If we do not speak about Kṛṣṇa consciousness, we speak about all sorts of nonsense. It was unfortunate. Just quickly, I was on the bus coming from Yotepec to Mexico City. I got on this bus, and they had this TV going with some movie, and it was so loud. I was trying to chant my rounds. The sound vibration was so disturbing. That's what goes on in this world. Everybody speaks nonsense. Everybody. Millions of people in the airports speaking nonsense. It's madness. If we do not speak about Krishna consciousness, we speak about all sorts of nonsense. A toad is in a field speaks by croaking. And similarly, everyone who has a tongue wants to speak. Even if he has to say is nonsense. The croaking of the toad, however, simply invites the snake. Please come here and eat me. Nevertheless, although it is inviting death, the toad goes on croaking. The talking of materialistic men, which can drive everyone crazy, and impersonalist Mayavadi philosophers may be compared to the croaking of frogs. They are always speaking nonsense and thus inviting death to catch them. Controlling speech, however, does not mean self-imposed silence, the external process of mona, as Mayavadi philosophers think. Silence may appear helpful for some time, but ultimately it proves a failure. The meaning of controlled speech conveyed by Srila Rupa Goswami advocates the positive process of Krishna Katha, engaging the speaking process in glorifying the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna and his duly appointed bona fide representative, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the successor, Sham, from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. No compromise. This compromise business is revolting. The tongue can thus glorify the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. The preacher of Krishna Katha is always beyond the clutches of death. This is the significance of controlling the urge to speak. So this is real renunciation. Real renunciation means not give up everything, not remain silent, not do anything, just like these devotees in Mexico. You engage everything that you have in the service of the spiritual master in Krishna. And in this way, you become liberated from this material world, even though you're living here in the world of confusion. This is the way. And this is our hope as we move forward and begin to cooperate together in the Prabhupada Disciples Association, Hare Krishna Society. Yashodanandana, please. And then we'll go to...
Very important point that you've raised. Very important point. I just want to read a brief passage from a lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam by Srila Prabhupada on February 19th, 1976 in Mayapur, India. February 19th, 1976. Prabhupada explains, Swayambur Narada Shambhuhu Kumaraha Kapilo Manuhu Pralado Janako Bhishmo Bhalir Vayasakir Vayam. They are Mahajanas. So we have to follow Prahlad Maharaj. He is our guru, Purva Acharya. Narada is Purva Acharya. He is disciple of Narada. Therefore, he is Acharya. And his disciplic succession, there are Sampradayas. Brahma Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya. Anyone who is bona fide Acharya, he can create his own disciplic succession. But one disciplic succession and the other discipline, they are not different. They are of the same conclusion. The Vaishnava Acharyas, just like our Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka, and who that? Rudra Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami, they're all of the same movement. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayaha, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.28. That is their conclusion. There is no different conclusion. Although they have got varieties of methods, Shuddha Dvaita, Dvaita Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, like that, they present the same philosophy in clear way. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presented the same philosophy, that achintya beda beda, that is Acharya. Acharya gave some way for simple understanding, the same conclusion, but according to the time, circumstances, they gave a very easy method to understand. That is Acharya. Acharya is following strictly the previous Acharya, but according to the circumstances, he may make little changes. That change is not from the original idea. No. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes, no changes. And this is critical to our own personal advancement, not to concoct, not to speculate, but to repeat exactly what you hear in the lectures from Srila Prabhupada, everyone, to repeat what you're reading in the books without interpretation. And in this way, we can protect the Guru Tattva. This is important. I see our wonderful friend in Miami. I must come to Miami and visit you.
Yes, you must.
I'm planning to maybe move around a bit more as we expand our mission with the wonderful devotees in the different parts of the world, like Aprakrita in Montreal. By the way, thank you, Aprakrita. Look at this, Prabhus. He sent me this little Bhagavad-gītā pin here. There it is there. Thank you, Aprakrita. Then we have, of course, Ron Singh in California near Sacramento, who's opening a center, and we look forward to his expansion as a temple president there. And of course, we have Janas Priya in Hawaii. We're planning to expand there. And we have in Mexico, of course, Krishna Kishori. So we're hoping, Prabhu, you can work on this particular idea of expansion with us in this Namhata program. But Nilesh, please, if you could comment, or we would welcome your insight.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Several things which I was listening to. As you mentioned at the beginning of the class, beginning of the discussion, that in today's day and age, there are so many people, but how many of them choose to know Krishna? And of the people who choose to know Krishna, how many are true transcendentalists and come in contact with the original spiritual master or the pure bona fide spiritual master?
Exactly.
But there is a subcategory even further than that.
Yes.
How many of the people who are in touch with the bona fide spiritual master actually follow the bona fide spiritual master's instructions? So imagine the trickle-down effect, which is coming so less, because you may compare somebody who's there, may compare that how many people are there in this class? Only 33 people. While how many people were there at the TVOP opening in Mayapur, you see? So it is again, not the number, but it is the tattva which we are up against, you see? And then listening to Yashodanandan Prabhu's class also is the book changes. You can see that the website, I've put it over there, where they have enumerated some of these book changes which they have gone, and why have they done those book changes. And this struggle to keep Srila Prabhupada in the center of ISKCON, this struggle to maintain Srila Prabhupada's original books is not new. KrishnaStore.com is one of the first people to have fought $1 million lawsuit with BBT, with BBT to force BBT to allow them to print the original Srila Prabhupada's 1972 Macmillan edition. And this has been going on since the 80s. We, the devotees who are joined in the 90s or the 2000s, we are very fortunate because most of the turmoil which occurred after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance from 77 to almost 1999, 2000, there were so many turmoils which occurred. We are all kind of shielded from there. People like Yashodanand Prabhu, Vishwakarma Prabhu, they have seasoned these changes. And even now, if you look at it, that ISKCON proper, the BBTI, also prints this original 1972 Macmillan edition. Now, my question is, as a consumer, I am just talking from a pure materialistic standpoint. As a consumer, why would I give my Lakshmi to somebody who, in the lawsuit against them to print Srila Prabhupada's original books, they said that Srila Prabhupada was a scribe, a hired scribe by ISKCON to write books for them. This is what the statement they made. And now, when I spoke to some senior ISKCON devotee in Juhu, Bombay, and I'm saying, why is BBTI now printing the original books? He says, very simple, because there is money in it. People's demanding that they are demanding it, and so they are printing it because there is money in it. Now, this is where you need to make a distinction, who you want to support, even with your Lakshmi. Look at the history. We have the fortune of looking at the history of ISKCON. If you don't want to believe any one of us, that's fine. Do your own research work. Get to the bottom of it, and then give your support to the persons who truly deserve it. Hare Krishna.
Well spoken, and we do appreciate everyone's input. We have a few more people with their hands up. I think Yashodanandan and Prabhu will go forward with them. Angelo in Georgia and Amit Patel. So first, Angelo in Georgia, J-A, I guess it is. Prabhu, can you get to the microphone?
Hare Krishna. No, I was just giving
Yeah, go ahead.
a thumbs up. I didn't have a question or comment. Thank you for a wonderful class.
Well, thanks for participating, Prabhu. It's 4.5 hours a week, and I know it may seem like a long time, but it's a short time in relation to eternity, so thank you. We've got Amit Patel. Where are you, Amit? Where are you
Hare
located?
Krishna.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to bona fide disciples group here. So, Prabhuji, I am from Chicago.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Amit. I was just in Chicago, stuck at the airport for 48 hours. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So,
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, I have actually two questions, one doubt. So I know we are talking about the original books, unedited, unadulterated books, and thanks to Yashodanandan Prabhu, actually I joined this group last month. I've been listening to all the lectures, even the old classes
Thank you.
which are there on the YouTube. So
Yeah.
thank you, to all the devotees here who are, enlightening all of us here on the path of spirituality. So I know Yashodanandan Prabhu and Vishnukamar Prabhu, we are talking about the original 1972 Macmillan edition of Bhagavad-gītā here. And and there is a doubt here, which I want to clarify.
Please.
If you see that, there is a word here, blessed Lord. And it's because I downloaded the PDF version also, and it's, occurred 25 times in the original Bhagavad-gītā. So,
yes.
But if you see the, in the text here, it says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Whereas the, Sanskrit meaning to the English, it says the Supreme Personality of Godhead said. But in the translation, it says the Blessed Lord said. So I wanted to know what does that mean by Blessed Lord? Like does Lord need some blessing of someone, but he's the Supreme? So if anyone, can clarify this doubt for me, or maybe it's like an editorial mistake or...
Well, it doesn't appear to be a doubt for you. You're just wondering about the changes. I just wanted to comment before Yashoda does give an answer that they have changed 70% of the verses, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the idea, is where is the authority when you make a change? So this stress for us is on just staying steady with the original translation by Srila Prabhupada, and this will be properly this will properly connect us to the transcendental via media of through Prabhupada to Krishna. So stay steady. Guru Tattva
Okay.
is the principle of meat. Guru Tattva is what we preach, and no change. Yashoda, if you'd like to comment, please.
Yeah, I've heard different interpretations of that Prabhupada wanted the Supreme Personality of Godhead as an actual English rendition of the word Bhagavan Uvacha.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly. I've not seen any documented conversation specifically with regards to the translation that they've come up with, the Blessed Lord. It seems to me many of these, in the beginning, many of these English words were put by various editors. And again, as I say, because I don't have any documented conversation or letter specific with that translation, but the usual translation of the word Bhagavan means Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, there
Yeah.
are several lectures where Prabhupada discusses this point about the division of God, one who is full in all six opulences. It's taken from a verse in the Vishnu Purana, Esvaryasya Samagrasya Viryasa Yashashasriya Jnana Vairagyashchaya Sannam Bhaga Itingana, that the Supreme Lord is named Bhagavan because he's full of opulences. Blessed Lord seems to be more of a Christian terminology rather than a Vedic terminology, but it seems that Prabhupada did not make much of an issue of it. So that's all I know about that for the time being.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the clarification, Prabhuji. And my second question is, I bought the original 17-volume set and the 30 volume of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita from Kṛṣṇa store. So thank you for giving me directions. And it's now there in the Zoom chat also. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, if you see after 10.3, like we have 10th canto, volume 3. After that, for 11th and the 12th canto, we do not have that, right, in the original one. So don't we have to read that, or because in the edited versions from the PBT, we have all the 12 cantos. So just wanted to know.
I'll let Yashoda respond to that. We do not read these volumes because they were translated by Sahajiya, representative of our mission, and it's like milk touched by the lips of a serpent. So that's why they're not included. Yashoda Nandana Prabhu, please.
I just want to clarify, the 10th canto of Bhagavatam was translated by Srila Prabhupada in the form of the Kṛṣṇa book, the original Kṛṣṇa book, volumes 1 and 2. That is a translation of the entire 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the activities of Lord Krishna. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhagavatam purports, there are many quotes from the 11th and 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam given by Prabhupada. Now, the story is that Prabhupada authorized Pradyumna or Panditji, Pradyumna Das, to translate the Srimad Bhagavatam. In 1978, I was in Vrindavan, and Pradyumna wrote a famous letter to the chairman of the GBC at the time, protesting or expressing his concern, which is a better term, about the new guru system that was being introduced, new terminology, new pranam mantras, and all different kinds of things that were going on, which incidentally have never been fixed up completely. It's not been rooted out of the Acharya's institution. But Pradyumna basically was singled out, and eventually, although we tried to debate with these people, the fix was in. They had their own idea of what they were going to do. Pradyumna was labeled as a miscreant, a rascal, an envious, a demon, every conceivable insult that you can imagine. And they stole his service away of translating the Srimad Bhagavatam, because Srila Prabhupada specifically told them to just translate the commentaries of the Acharya. not to make his own Bhagavatam commentary, but to just translate the commentaries of the Acharya like Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Sridhar Swami, and other great acharyas. The GBC, because they did not like his position, because he had protested their position on the Guru issue, including many other devotees, they basically took his service away from him. That's why many devotees who know the history of this do not accept their translation. Their translation was on a basis of a great Vaishnava parade against an innocent devotee. That was the basis. Now they're peddling this as so-called authorized translation. That's fine. They can declare whatever they want as authorized. It's like everything they touch after 1978 has got some nonsense contamination in it. Just leave it at that for now.
Yeah,
Okay,
what a
okay, that
tragedy.
clarifies.
Yeah, what a tragedy. It's disgusting. And just see how these people are suffering the karma, even in their bodies right now, for this disobedience against the orders of the spiritual master. This does not, as in this verse, chastisement will come, and it has come to many of these people that are misleading others who are sincere about taking up Krishna consciousness, misleading them because they are in, Mr. Patel, in the guru business. That's a simple way to understand it. No different than the Christian church. The Catholic Church is one of the biggest businesses in the world. So if you want to make money, become a guru, but you won't go back to Godhead. We've got a few more people. We'll go to Kevin G and then Neil Sharma. Kevin G, where are you? I see your hands up, brother. Are you there? Mr. Kevin G.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you very much. The
Yes,
devotees, disciples, Dandavats, physics, humble obeisances. I learned about this group and the Zoom link just recently. I've been trying to get a hold of it, and really happy I found it. It's just amazing to just be around nothing but Prabhupada glorification constantly. So many antidotes and side notes that Prabhupada recordings and conversations into the class incorporated into. This feels like shelter, like real shelter. I just joined last Wednesday's class, it was a great class today. Thank you, devotees. Thank you, Yashodanandana Prabhu. And I wanted to I was doing something while I was listening into Wednesday's class. I just wanted to comment on something Prabhu mentioned, Yashodanandana Prabhu mentioned in Wednesday's class. You mentioned Prabhu a Facebook kind of scuffle between two people, one devotee who wanted to just sincerely follow Srila Prabhupada, and this one person replied by saying, "Oh, you can't do that. So Prabhupada is deceased," and they said it in a more really horrible way, really offensive way. Don't even want to repeat it, but I was thinking I had a similar experience a year ago, almost exactly. Gaur Purnima, this small temple, farm temple, it's like barely getting by, and this Prabhupada disciple in ISKCON tells me in the kitchen, well, you can't worship Prabhupada directly. And I didn't have any immediate reaction. I held it in, but I just thought it was total nonsense, and finished celebrating Gaur Purnima that night. After I left, I gave a phone call to I've been in touch with Paranjan Prabhu. I gave him a call because I wanted to talk to a Prabhupada disciple about this that's outside of ISKCON. So I said, Prabhu, what do you think about this? This one Prabhupada disciple tells me I can't worship Prabhupada directly. He said, well, you should ask him what the other alternative is. Worship child abuse, women abuse, changing of books, like all this other stuff. So it's so that's the alternative. If we become what we worship, if like had this realization again and again, realizing we will go down if we follow this. We will go down to the same location, the most obnoxious region of the universe, if we follow this false guru program. We'll be tied at the waistline and go directly down. And yeah, it just seems more and more apparent that Srila Prabhupada is the only way. I just wanted to comment on that. Yeah, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, yes. Prabhupada lives in sound, Prabhu. That's the principle of bhakti yoga, is to hear from the original sources. And they're fully available to all of us online. This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya that we're dovetailing the material world in Krishna's service. And this is enabling us. And you carry on attending the classes, carry on chanting your 16 rounds, carry on developing your own Namhata program where you live. And in this way, you take up the mission with all of us globally in propagating Krishna consciousness and feeling the happiness that comes, the bliss that comes from preaching Krishna consciousness without motivation. This is the essence of our philosophy. And this is the way that you, as a person, will become transcendently peaceful. To think about these things in ISKCON, sure, we should know about them, but our main purpose here is to restart the mission with all of you, and in this way continue by Krishna's arrangement to take up the service that's been dropped by all of these people. Numbers mean nothing. Nilesh Shama. Yes, brother. Hare Krishna.
I wanted to answer Amit Prabhu's question.
Yes, Prabhu.
About the two missing volumes on Srimad Bhagavatam. My counter question to Amit Prabhu is, Amit Prabhu, how many chapters of Brahma Samhita are known to us? Only chapter number 5. I want to read chapter number 1 to 4. Where do I go? Certain things have been kept away from us for our own benefit because of Desh, Kal, Patra and Paristhiti. Times, place, circumstances and persons who we are dealing with.
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada has told us repeatedly, I have given you everything which you need to go back home, back to Godhead. So why focus on what is not there? Have we understood completely and practicing everything which is mentioned in the 10 cantos? Are we ready for that? Who can say that yes, I have completely read all the 10 cantos, whatever Srila Prabhupada has translated for us, and I am practicing that 100% completely. So remember the story of Shabri. Shabri, how old was she when she was told by her Guru Maharaj that you don't need to go anywhere, the Lord will come to you. Remember in Ramayana, Shabri. So at what age did Lord Rama come to Shabri? Look at the age gap, the time duration gap. Did she ever doubt her Guru Maharaj by saying that the Lord will not come to my house? Every single day she prepared that Lord Rama would come to her hut. Similarly, we need to have that kind of commitment to Srila Prabhupada. He has told us that he has given us everything which we need to go back home, back to Godhead. So then, whether it is 1 canto or whether there are 10 cantos or there are 12 cantos, it does not matter. I am going to follow Srila Prabhupada like how Shabri followed her spiritual master. And that result we have seen with Shabri, and that result will come to us as well. Hare Krishna.
Okay, that's right. Thanks for the explanation, Prabhuji. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yes, thank you. Okay, we've got one more person that has his hand up and will grace the group with his presence. Bhakta Robin, whereabouts are you? Whereabouts are you? Put your
Hare
microphone
Krishna
on.
Prabhu, Dandavats, all glories to Srila Prabhupada
Oh, that's a
from
powerful
Germany.
voice. Germany, good. Robin, Haribo.
So
Go ahead.
usually I watch every recording, you know, I'm in contact with Venkat Prabhu also, and I watch every recording and I create short videos from the recording. I have a YouTube channel called youtube.com/BhaktaRobin, and I've created already like 30 or 40 short videos from your amazing classes here. And I send also timestamps to Venkat Prabhu, so later we can create more short videos. So I wanted to make a comment because I have been watching all the videos so far, all the recordings, and I want to comment that it's useless to get angry at ISKCON because we're dealing with criminals. And just like these terrorists they're having now, you know, then the military is capturing these terrorists and slamming them on the floor, you know, or killing them. And this is the same in ISKCON, you know. This is the entire message of the Bhagavad-gītā. Krishna is saying, violence, nothing will be accomplished. And it's the same in ISKCON. Without violence, ISKCON will never change. And this violence does simply not exist because there is no spiritual law enforcement in this world.
Yes.
So, you know, I know everybody is sort of traumatized because of the ISKCON thing. It's very painful to see this whole thing, you know. But I just wanted to say, because oftentimes I notice that you get into this anger, you know. So I just wanted to say that it will not change, you know. These people are criminals and they will never change unless Yamaraj maybe slams them on the floor or something like this, or the Yamadutas. And I have a video from one of the senior devotees in ISKCON, and he said that he had a dream, you know, how all the ISKCON GBCs are lined up in the court of Yamaraj, and then he became a Prabhupada and went to ISKCON Bangalore. So maybe it's coming from them, you know, it looks like it. And my suggestion is that all the Prabhupada they should make a daily prayer to Lord Narasimha to send the ISKCON gurus to hell and to take away all the punya of the ISKCON gurus that they are stealing from us. I pray every day now, dear Lord Narasimha, please take away all the punya of the ISKCON gurus and their disciples and give it to all the devotees who are suffering outside of ISKCON because of their offenses. So if a lot of people make this prayer, we can suck away the punya that they stole from us. So that's the only thing we can do, in my opinion. So that's what I wanted to comment. Haribol.
Well, thank you very much. I'll get Yashoda to comment in a minute. I just wanted to say thank you for your efforts to capsulize some of our comments and share them with others. We are definitely on the positive direction of spreading Krishna consciousness through propagation of the philosophy in our different centers, in Mexico City, in Montreal, in Hamilton here, in Hawaii, in Sacramento. So gradually we're proliferating, and I think you saw from the class today, we're looking at more the positive aspects of propagating this philosophy of truth without personal motivation. So this is right, you're 100% right, and we are on the positive side of the victory path, back home, back to Godhead. And the more we can bring people with us in this understanding of how, Prabhu, how to practice bhakti yoga in your own life. The first thing is your bead bag. 16 rounds without fail. Chant your rounds. Struggle, if you have to follow the 4 regulated principles. Constantly read the original books. I'm just finishing my complete review once again for the 5th time of the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita. I finished Ancha Leela. I read it, the last section, twice this week. And I'm on to Ancha Leela 3. So by your personal behavior, your personal efforts, you will become stronger in Krishna consciousness. And this will put you in a position of leadership, you in Germany. And this way you can inspire people, everyone around you, to take up this process. So if each one of us becomes a, let's say, leader, a temple president in your respective area, if you focus on that and you preach Krishna consciousness without motivation, then everything will unfold in a positive. And we agree. This ISKCON group, I tell everyone, just the boat has left the harbor. It's gone.
Yes, Prabhu. And I'm not so advanced, I just listen mostly, but I try what I personally do. I download all the lectures from all the Prabhupanugas, like daily Bhagavatam classes, your meetings, and I listen to many hours, to these lectures all the time. But I'm not so advanced to do much, but I'm with Prabhupada since 2012. I've been preaching that Prabhupada is a guru since 2012. And guess what? There has been almost zero success, I never experienced anybody from ISKCON who changed. So that's why I say,
that's right.
We need new people, These people they're gone.
Yeah. Prabhu, that's the way it is. So you're doing terrific. Okay. I'm proud that you've come forward with us. And if there's a way you can reach out to me as well, I would love to talk to you about how we can work together and you can help us with the continued expansion of our efforts online and in other ways. So please reach out to me, Bobby Hebert at Gmail.
Ask Venkat Prabhu. He has my numbers, So if you ask Venkat, he can give you all my contact.
Or Venkat can send you my contact information.
Okay. Haribo.
Because he is our production coordinator. Thank you very much. I saw Yashoda had a last comment. We move forward today beyond our timeline. We usually stop at 11:30, but such an interesting conversation. We'll continue tomorrow. Yashoda, your last comments.
I just want to read a section of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 31, Text 48. Canto 3, Chapter 31, Text 48, where Prabhupada gives his conclusion with regards to this physical association issue. Prabhupada says, it is sometimes misunderstood that if one has to associate with person engaged in devotional service, he will not be able to solve the economic problem. To answer this argument, it is described here that one is to associate with liberated persons, not directly, physically, but by understanding through philosophy and logic the problems of life. It is stated here, samyak darshanaya buddhya. One has to see perfectly, and by intelligence in yogic practice, one has to renounce this world. That renunciation can be achieved by the process recommended in the second chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is very clear from Prabhupada's statement here. Not directly physically, by understanding through philosophy and logic the problems of life. Anyone can get that by carefully reading Prabhupada's original books. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and his sincere followers and students.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Yashodananda, and thank everybody. We want to thank everyone who's participating today in the program, Vijaya Pandit in Italy and his devotees that work with him. We're expanding. Prabhu in Germany, it's slow but sure. Yes, Yashoda, sorry, your hands up, please.
Monday is Lord Chaitanya's birthday, Gaur Purnima on Monday. For those in the United States that observe the regular ISKCON calendar, that is tomorrow, Sunday, Gaur Purnima, fast till moonrise, then Ekadasi Prasadam, and then reading, chanting, hearing about Lord Chaitanya all day. Hare Krishna, whenever you're observing it. Hare Krishna, all glories to
What was that? What day is it for us? What day is it? Is it tomorrow for us?
I
Prabhu?
observe on the Mayapur calendar, which is Monday,
Okay.
and then many persons, both in the United States and Canada, observe it on Sunday because there's different devotees following different dates. So
Okay.
I
so
observe
we're
the Mayapur calendar for Monday. Many persons observe for example, Bhakta Ram is getting together with some devotees in Chico, California, an hour
Yeah.
and 15 minutes north of Sacramento. They're having a festival tomorrow. Many persons are going to observe it on Monday for Lord Chaitanya's festival. Hare Krishna.
Excellent. Well, thank you again, everyone. We apologize for the extended class, but it was so engaging and revealing to hear all of you speak. Thank you, everyone, for your participation once again. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Srimad Bhagavatam class. We're reading from the original 1962 version. We hope to publish this in the future and for distribution by the Prabhupada Disciples Association and the Hare Krishna Society. That's one of our hopes. And now we'll move forward with the chanting of Hare Krishna by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Bhakta Zoran, come va, come va?
Bene, grazie, grazie, molto bello.
Ah, buongiorno, molto bene, molto bene. Cantare Krishna, tua vita sarà sublime.
Sì, certo. Quando si canta il santo nome non c'è problemi.
Ah, very good, very good. Après Krishna, chante Hare Krishna, ta vie sera sublime. Aprakita, where is Aprakita? He's not there. Very good, good to see you all. Hare Krishna.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnava Vangsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya